What's up with all y'all true niggas? Rest in peace, Truettes.
Kevin Miller.
This your motherfucking Colonel. Of the motherfucking tank.
What's up, Big Boss, nigga?
P. I got C Murder with me.
LD.
Silk the Shocker.
Big Mo.
Big
V.
You know what?
Big Man.
We know limit soldiers.
Big Pokey.
We know limit soldiers.
Mr. Servo.
We know limit soldiers. We know limit soldiers. We know limit soldiers. We know limit soldiers.
Hope, nigga.
So bitch, get your mind right.
Cain and Abel.
Bitch, get your mind
Skull
right.
Duggery.
We know
are
limit
you.
soldiers.
All y'all
We
motherfucking
know
true
limit
soldiers.
soldiers. We know limit soldiers.
Nigga, I'm busting me lows, but I'm hitting them down with jokes. Y'all niggas on the road, got your hoe on the scope. Bitches watching me, jocking me, niggas blocking me, cocking, cause I'm the hardest motherfucker out here rocking. I got the game in shades, got the niggas in blaze, I got them hoes on the raise, because the nigga getting paid. I got niggas from coast, slinging my dope. Got niggas and G's and rolling keys to record stores, get paid with fatals. Niggas hard in tails, niggas turning the taters, but niggas living like potatoes. Get chopped up in games, niggas running my name. Master P up in chain, Izzy Dady's a man, but I be bustin', hustin'. Niggas ain't trustin', I'm a soldier. That's why niggas ain't trustin' no bitch or no nigga, hoe or no sucker, fiend or no clucker, but ready to hustle with boulders bigger than your shoulders, running from the rollers, gone on that doja. Cowards despise, soldiers we ride, killers with attitudes but ready to die. Cause chickens get plucked, hoes get fucked, turkeys get stuck, and niggas get cut. Ready for combat, my gat with my whole head, strapped with my crew and my niggas in all that. Down for whatever, niggas straight rowdy. Ask anyone from America, they'll tell you we bout it. Soldiers out there tank, bustin', don't think. Lose your life if you blink. Fucking with them soldiers on that tank, cause we know limit soldiers. I thought I told you. We know limit soldiers. I thought I told you. We know limit soldiers. I thought I told you. We know limit soldiers. I thought I told you. We know limit soldiers. I thought I told you. We know limit soldiers. I thought I told you.
Let's get ready to rumble. Them niggas stumble. Hit them with left blow. Fuck it. Got death flow. Ready to go to war? Let's go. We killers and thrillers. Drug dealers and killers. Fuck it. No limit soldiers. Now picture me folding dollar bills. I stay fucking true. Nigga fuck it. Niggas do ya. Nigga I come to life and I skip all you bust like Freddy Krueger. Gangsta fight nigga. True to the game nigga. Stay fucking pulling triggers. Fuck up all y'all niggas. Cause I'm so fucking TRU. Represent. I thought you knew it's killers, killers, killers. All I be around. Nigga fucking fool. About face. There's no limit soldier. 1 to the 2 to the 3. Nigga I try to told you. Everybody quiet. While I load up this right. Attention! Now all my soldiers start fighting. It's time to go deep cover. With the weapon like Danny Glover. Smother like Jelly. Ready. Go deep like Jim Kelly. Fuck it all y'all buckets. Open up y'all belly. Plain bitch, where we ain't. I heard we had drama, motherfucker. Put up the bins and now we drive the tank. Cause all I wanted to be was a soldier. All I wanted to be was a soldier.
No limit soldiers. I thought I told you. We know limit soldiers. I thought I told you. We know limit soldiers. I thought I told you. We know limit soldiers. I thought I told you.
I'm a no limit motherfucking soldier till I die. We run this place, and I say the same shit with a gun up in my face. I ain't scared to die, bitch. Like I said before, ho. Third wall, I'm from that motherfucking Cali. Project supported worldwide by drug dealers, transforming whippy ass niggas into killers. Taking over worldwide, doing shows overseas, bringing bitches to the telly, put them hoes up on their knees. Gangsta fire like my motherfucking homies Cain and Abel. No limit, the world's #1 fucking rap label. Competition gets smoked like we smoking blunts. I take a player hate and knock out his fucking fronts. Dope slang, but now I'm slinging CDs, a million records. There used to be some quarter keys, true tattooed on my back, bitch. That's my clique. Ready to hop into some motherfucking gangster shit. I say no limit loud, cause we ain't scared of nobody. Organized by P or shit. I say, John got it, real niggas. Put your guns up if you feel me. But if you talk shit, bitch, you better kill me. Like Skull, I'm a hood and I'm for life. I told you, we be some motherfucking no limit. True show.
We know limit soldiers. I thought I told you. We know limit soldiers. I thought I told you. We know limit soldiers. I thought I told you. We no limit soldiers. I thought I told you.
Got my mind on cock. Illicit thoughts feed the plot. Top priorities, the family, dope and royalties. My loyalty leads with the gang of true niggas. No colors, just a bunch of ignorant motherfuckers. Trust, my pen is an infrared. Hollow tips be my lyrics dipped in venom. When I send them, they split your head. Wide open, my rhyme's so fire blunt, but you can't smoke nail one. Don't try to come, don't even touch the mic. My shit so tight, it's more correct than right. When I recite, absolutely, you booty assholes and niggas perpetrating behind water gun triggers. Hurry up and figure out that studio bodies catch hotties to the mouth. Who got the clout? Don't act surprised, cause it's that bitch from the south. Me and ex-hoes, you don't want no problems. Get so much respect, even yo niggas call me mama. The biggest one to come, stomping out the NO, the crescent, testing, chin checking, wrecking when I'm flexing on your whole crew. Who wants to go to war with this lyrical arsonist? You're talking shit, I'll have you running for the thesaurus, cause I'm walking with the big dogs without hesitation. A lady like as ever, full of verbal annihilation, escaping, popos chasing. Wanna catch me, but they can't. I made them think, and now they too scared to run up on the tank. No limit, you can start it, but we niggas is the hardest to deal with. Keeps the steel and the plastic to peel with and reach, so we can touch your ass any place and leave a bout scarf on your face. We soldiers.
No limit soldiers.
I thought I told you.
We no limit soldiers.
I thought I told you.
We no limit soldiers.
I thought I told you.
We no limit soldiers.
I thought I told you.
We no limit soldiers.
I thought I told you.
We no limit soldiers.
I thought I told you. I thought I told you.
You niggas wave your gun, show your tattoo. Soldiers for life, nigga. Jumping off the tank. Stay true to the gazette.
All right. Let me get myself situated here, y'all. Let me get myself situated. All right. Welcome. All right, that's gonna be one of them nights. It's whatever. Yeah. We here talk about the latest and greatest from the world of sports, and of course, anything else that kind of crosses my radar. Hope you all have had a very good week. Hope you had a very good day, and of course, I hope I leave you off. Okay, let's see. StreamYard. Work with a brother. What we got here? What do we have here? Okay, StreamYard, are you working right? Okay, cool. Whatever. We'll work through it. I'll work through it. All right, so what do I want to go with this? Of course, we're going to talk about the NBA gambling scandal. Scandal. Let me get a sip of water. Talk about the NBA gambling scandal involving notable NBA players and the NBA head coach. We're going to get into that, of course, get the latest and greatest from the world of the NFL. My Colts pick from a couple of weeks ago is looking pretty nice. Of course, we got that. And of course, we're going to get into the Trump, November 1st deadline for those of you that care about folks on those jumps and other kind of benefits. It's looming. But, first, I want to get into this gambling scandal. Hold on just a sec. Well, since ain't nobody here, let me take the time to kind of get my stuff together. Yeah, let me put this up first. Okay. For those who are not aware, let me kind of get it together here, y'all. Give me a second. Okay. I want to put this here. Put that there. I'm going to get it together, y'all. Give me a sec. Man, technical difficulties. StreamYard do not want to work with a brother. Got a short clip here, then we're gonna kind of get into it. Got a couple of short clips on this. I want to look at this NBA gambling scandal. Scandal. Say scandal. I'm getting tongue tied. I want to look at this from a lot of different angles. Let me get this down. Okay, are we up? All right. Here we go.
Fire and fury in the wake of the NBA gambling scandal.
Trump is coming.
TV sports analyst Stephen A. Smith is causing an uproar after accusing President Trump of targeting sports figures as revenge for opposing him.
Don't be surprised if the WNBA is next on his list. Because when you've got all of these protests that have been going out there and people that have been protesting against him and what have you, this man is coming. He's coming.
But FBI Director Kash Patel, who personally announced the arrest of 31 people in the gambling scandal, fired back on Fox News.
Stephen A. Smith, the sports commentator, suggested that this was revenge from the president for all the kind of left-wing activism of the NBA.
That may be the single dumbest thing I've ever heard out of anyone in modern history, and I live most of my time in Washington, D.C.
America was stunned by the arrest of the NBA Hall of Famer Chauncey Billups, the Miami Heat's Terry Rozier, and former Cleveland Cavaliers' Damon Jones, along with accused mafia mobsters. On last night's Inside the NBA, basketball legend Shaquille O'Neal had no sympathy for the disgraced NBA stars.
All these guys knew what was at stake, and I'm just ashamed that they put themselves and put their family and put the NBA in this position.
And his colleague Charles Barkley scoffed at the notion that the coach and players might be addicted to gambling.
We have to realize gambling is an addiction. Come on, man, stop that. Ain't got nothing to do with addiction. That's just total stupidity on these two dudes' parts.
And we're learning more shocking details about the underhanded methods the ring allegedly used to rig poker games and cheat high-stakes gamblers. Prosecutors say this X-ray poker table revealed the playing cards that were laid face down.
Did you defraud victims out of millions of dollars?
Hall of Famer Chauncey Billups ignored questions as he left court after his arraignment on fraud and money laundering charges.
Did you commit the crimes you're accused of committing?
An attorney for Coach Chauncey Billups said in a statement that his client is, quote, a man of integrity, and men of integrity do not cheat and defraud others.
All right. Let me come back over here. This is my stuff clearing up. Okay, hey, I got two people. Hey, Murph, how you doing? Oh, I meant to do that. Listen, I was all thrown off. StreamYard has just been difficult over the past couple of weeks with all these additions. But how you doing, Joe? I saw you earlier. Thanks for the compliment. Yeah, nice thumbnail. Thank you. And of course, DMO. Yeah, okay, so let me get back up here. Okay, so that is for those who were not informed of what's going on with the NBA. Of course, the NBA season has started. I'm gonna be honest with you, I haven't watched too many games, watched some highlights from some games, but the NBA season is kind of long. You guys know, if you've been a follower of the show, I don't get heavy into the NBA till maybe at least Christmas, definitely after the All-Star break. But it's been some good action. But back to this gambling situation. I want to tackle this. Matter of fact, take that down. I want to tackle this from a couple different angles. We've talked about gambling in regards to problems that the NFL has had with the new way of gambling. For those who are not into gambling and the parlays and that nature and that kind of stuff. Okay, let me get this back up here. Pin that. Okay, cool. I'm good. Okay, I'm fumbling around here, y'all. Work with me. It is so much easier for the average American just to go on a website, make kind of parlays on games and NBA action, and not just NBA action, all sports and manner is open. It has become I would say a safer way for people to gamble and do that, and instead of having to go to casinos and shady loan sharks. But it's been a slippery slope as we see more and more the sports leagues get on with promoting some of these gambling websites. And with the NFL, and it's going to trickle down to the NBA, and of course, it's going to be trickling down. I expect this to kind of cascade into all major league sports being looked at for players or coaches or any kind of staff involved with these organizations to be looked at for gambling and whatnot. In regards to, I want to break this down from the player Terry Rozier, and I want to get into Chauncey Billups. Rozier, who has already been under investigation, has already been named for allegedly cheating. And what I mean by cheating, like releasing insider information in regards to when I'm going to play, when I'm not going to play, when I'm going to come out. These are the allegations that have come up in this indictment from the FBI. He's already been named. He's already been looked at. People have scrutinized, certain games and whatnot. I expect to see more people, not necessarily in the very near future, but I expect to see other players get caught up in this kind of stuff. And here's why. A lot of times the player, if they're smart, are not the ones that's actually making the gambling, bets themselves. And this is why it's going to be a problem. What's going on? Oh, Jesus. How you doing, lady? Okay, brother keep telling yes. Okay, well, here's how the gambling stuff pulls you in. For those who have not been on some of these gambling websites and apps where you can kind of do this stuff, parlays. You're gambling on like certain situations. A player gets X amount of points, X amount of yards, depending on what kind of sport you're doing. It is a lot safer to do. Once you kind of get into it, I know people who are very, I wouldn't say like highly successful. I mean, it's smart people I know personally, but I've had some good days on the parlays, and that kind of stuff. So yeah. But yeah, keep at it. It's fun to do. But back to the players side of it. Players, like I said, I don't think the players are going to be the ones that get caught up, much like with the NFL players that were suspended over the last couple of years for, being involved with online betting. Their entourages were the ones who kind of placing bets in, and it gets tied back to them. Players, and not just players, but staff, also coach staff, training staff, anybody involved with the organization, you have access to insider information. And what this NBA scandal, I'll expect the NFL to eventually get a hard look at, Major League Baseball as well. I think all major sports are going to get a hard look at what they're trying to make this look like in a weird kind of way. And I don't want to make this too political, but what this looks like is when you have players that have access to that kind of information, staff that has access to that kind of information, and bets are being made, and stuff that kind of looks funny. You've had NBA players be suspended in regards to alleged betting and whatnot. It looks like insider trading. That's how it comes across. In a very political sense, it comes across as insider trading. You have access to information that other people do not have access to, and you are using it to make a financial gain out of it. Meaning, if I know a player on my team is nursing an injury, or I know a player is going to be out that's maybe listed as questionable before the game starts, hey, if I'm inclined to, I'm not going to be the one to actually place the bet, but I'll pass that information along to somebody who does participate into the online gambling with a possible kickback on the information that they're given. It becomes a very slippery slope in that essence, because you have to kind of look at not just the players. And I think this is what the NFL was doing when they were suspending NFL players for the past couple seasons. Famously, Jameson Williams for Detroit got suspended 6 games 2 seasons ago in regards to quote unquote online betting. It looks funny, and they're going to start looking at not just the players, not just staff. They're going to start looking at your associates, your friends, your family, people who could stand to gain with the information that you have access to that nobody has access to. Let's just look at it as insider trading to make it a lot less simple. When a stock is going up, a stock is going down, and you have access to that information, it allows you to kind of maneuver save your money or buy into something and make some money because you know stuff is about to change. In regards to Chauncey Billups, he's not the first, I would say, authority figure to be accused of betting or involved in some kind of gambling type quote unquote stuff. Most namely Pete Rose from baseball was another one. Chauncey Billups was a bit of a surprise to be involved in this. I'm waiting to see more information come out into how he was involved. It was more or less him quote unquote hosting parties where there were rigged poker games and this kind of stuff. Now it is because for those who know who Chauncey Billups is, Chauncey Billups, NBA Hall of Famer, former Detroit Piston, former Denver Nugget, now currently, before he gets put on leave, was head coach for the Portland Trail Blazers, has had a very respectable NBA career on and off the court. You never really heard much about Chauncey Billups being involved in nefarious activities. It's very telling that he's involved in this, but it is like I said, it's going to be a very, very slippery slope in regards to this. You're now hearing former NBA player / staffer Damon Jones, using information that he knew LeBron was going to be hurt and pass that information along. How much can you really blame the players and coaches? And I would say this: I think players and coaches need to be a lot more careful about the information that they have access to and who they transmit that information to. I mean, you may be thinking about like, damn, talking to your homeboy, your friend, like, damn, man, it's gonna be a tough game tonight, man. LeBron's not playing. LeBron, he tweaked his ankle in practice. This is something that the media's not been aware of. Betting sites have not been made aware of. He's gonna try to give it a go, man, but I don't think Bron gonna play more than 15, 20 minutes. That and someone taking that information, running to a website or running to however they do their gambling and using that information to make a profit. Like, you've got to be a little bit more careful in what information you're sharing. And it's sad to say, because like I said, I don't think Chauncey Billups, I don't think Rozier were the guys that were actually placing bets. But when you get involved in stuff and involved with people like that, you put yourself at risk because you're the one that's going to be have your face plastered on TV. You're the one that's going to be in the headlines. And like I said, it's nothing that's come out as far as Chauncey Billups. He did XYZ or wrong. He was hosting rigged poker parties, and this is all alleged. But we'll see how that kind of plays out. But it is another angle I want to take with this story as more information comes out. Let me get it queued up. Give me a sec, y'all. Where is it at? Okay, here we go. It was and shout out to let me make sure my stuff is right. Give me a sec, y'all. Give me a sec. It was an interesting conversation on Joe Budden podcast this past week in regards to the NBA betting scandal, and I wanted to kind of take it and kind of dive into it just a little bit more. Give me just a second, y'all. Because y'all know how StreamYard be. If you're a content creator, you understand what I'm talking about. Let me get it queued up here. Take a listen to this conversation, and we'll kind of break it up.
Launched a gambling investigation, an illegal gambling investigation into several NBA players. Chauncey Billups, coach and former Hall of Fame player, was arrested. Terry Rozier was arrested. Damon Jones was arrested, and a whole bunch of other people not in the NBA or connected were also arrested in regards to two separate cases. One was about an illegal poker game, or a ring of illegal poker games, where people were being brought, or NBA players were alleged to be brought in as the kind of the face of this, and then people were basically tricked and robbed of their money. Not literally robbed, but tricked through
cheated.
But cheated. They were cheating.
Eyewear,
exactly. Eyewear, card counters that didn't work, etc. And then there's the second piece, which is definitely more dangerous to the league, which is the allegation that players are revealing information or otherwise being involved in prop bet scams. So releasing information that affects betting, checking themselves out of games, faking injuries, all these things that will affect the gambling lines, right? For prop bets in particular. So not like who wins or loses, but the over under on certain kinds of gambling. So that's the scandal. and it's rocking the sports world right now for a lot of reasons.
Can I ask you a question? So the first part, when you said they use them as the face, so how I take that is they're using a famous NBA player to say, "Hey, come play with us," and you can play with, and that's like that, and then they cheat them out the money.
LeBron and
that
them
is
beat it.
genius.
Now I won't say nobody's name, but if you gonna market it, you'll say like somebody popular, like yo, such and such is gonna be there, or this person's they be all gambling in the spot, so that's gonna bring common motherfuckers that want to be around a celebrity.
The report said centered around retired NBA players.
Yes.
So this is not just like hey, we run into Chauncey's game. Like there are a few retired players said to be involved in this.
Right. And it's important to note because the mafia, organized crime, has been implicated in this as well.
Yes, they have.
Gambino family, Lucchese family, some other families have been publicly named by the FBI. And so the idea is that the games are connected to the mafia.
Okay, let me pause it here because I do want to finish and get into the rest of this clip. Where we at with it? All right, we're back over here. Here is a component I wanted to kind of get into, and I think Joe and a lot of other people are kind of touching on this. Like, you have the players, you name players, you name Chauncey Billups, Terry Rozier, names out there, Damon Jones' name is out there. It's allegedly, a tie to the mafia and all this. Here is, this is kind of where I went with the thumbnail today. Now, these guys were not running stuff. They were not part of the quote unquote illegal activity as far as these rigged poker games. And you kind of saw in the other clip that I played where they was talking about X-rays and all of that kind of high level cheating type shit. But it's funny they put and we'll kind of get into this in another part of the show a little bit later, when I get into the politics and all that. They're quick to put what's going on, brother? They're quick to put a black face to something like this. Now, if this is involving, Gambino family and Lucchese family, mob activity. When we're talking mob activity, we're talking, five families type shit. Why do you have, these guys who are not, like you said, Chauncey Billups was hosting rig parties. Terry Rozier is alleged to have shared information that, prop betting, quote unquote, parlays over and under that kind of stuff. You quick to put a black face. They seem to want to be rushed to quit and put a black face on a problem that is a lot bigger than these guys that you have propped up here and have the cameras in front of their face. I don't remember, I didn't see any coverage from, anybody from quote unquote the Gambino family, having have to have press conferences or their arraignment and that. I don't remember seeing footage of that. No, we want to sell this on, and it goes a little bit deeper for me. And maybe I'm just reaching. Maybe I'm just reaching with this, but it goes a little deeper than that because it's like, you hear Stephen A. Smith talk about, Trump is coming. It's been alleged that Adam Silver is going to have to talk in front of Congress in regards to this. When we talking NBA, we're primarily talking black players. In the league that is dominated by black players, as far as the face and all of that kind of stuff, it is it's going to be a slippery slope going forward because now you have whether you did it intentionally or unintentionally, and I think it was a bit intentional. You have put a black face on a problem as far as the gambling and that kind of stuff. And it worries me that it's going to become more of a racial type thing. You're not going to see quote unquote white players' names in the news in regards to this. This is black players. I mean, when you look at the NFL, the players that was getting suspended were black players. Not this, and you can't have me to believe that it's no white players that were, doing quote unquote prop betting and being involved in that kind of stuff. You can't tell me that. But they've kind of put a black face on it. But I want to continue the clip and continue with this conversation. Here we go.
I think that's important to note because I see a lot of black faces on camera.
I'm about to say,
and I ain't seen a mob member.
Not one.
Yeah, so that's another piece of this. And for the Chauncey thing, there's some.
You're going over too much shit that we want to talk about.
Okay.
Some of this shit is important. Bring out fucking Ricky Donatolione. Come on. Come on. Hey, y'all saying it's mafia related? I believe you.
I want to see Johnny.
Bring him out.
Yeah, I want to see Johnny.
Bring out Tommy Noonan, whatever his name is. Bring them all out.
I love how
they
y'all
put
hear
them
Mafia
on
and
in-
all go Italian.
The way they put them on the news would be different anyway. They're gonna use the stars first.
Not named Lucchese.
I know.
Not named Gambino.
You straight to Goodfellas.
This thing of ours.
Yeah.
And if you know the history of gambling.
Yeah, that's their thing.
That's their lane. They stepped in their lane then.
Yeah, so don't just come showing me the black faces.
The Fall Guys.
I think this is one of a few things could be true. Yes, some black faces involved. And I want to see them niggas too.
It's pretty ironic that they used NBA players to lure in the marks, and the FBI is also using the NBA players to bring all the awareness to it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
exactly. Well, that's why the story kind of starts even before this. To me, what is everyone's opinion on Cash Patel? Come on.
I don't really know what to make.
All right, let me come back over here. And Joe brought up a very good point. Like I said, the black faces part, but of course, you're using the NBA players. You're using the name notoriety to bring people in. This is what allegedly the Mafia was doing in regard. Like I said, Chauncey Billups is not, according to the allegations, was not an active participant in these quote unquote the rigged activities at these programs. He was just a name used to lure people in, quote unquote, the marks, where the cheating was going on. Do I think Chauncey Billups knew that there was cheating going on? No. He's like, hey, I'm here, blah, blah, blah. I'm using the host parties, and whatnot. But we're getting into, you use the blackface to paint the picture, and like it's going to paint other black players. If their team loses, people are going to start questioning, or are they in some kind of nefarious prop betting scheme and that kind of, LeBron is not, like, you've heard LeBron's name tossed around a little bit this week in regards, because his association with Damon Jones, like, how much does he know? And is he, it's you're tying so many black players and black faces to this, and not one photo, not one press conference in regards to the other 31 people allegedly arraigned in this indictment by the feds is done on purpose. Brother, I know it's done on purpose. I know it's done on purpose, but you haven't seen any of those names being released, and cameras all in their faces. And let's just, like I said, Chauncey Billups. Chauncey Billups, like, you were used by the Mafia. Now you're being used by the feds to kind of paint this picture of this overarching gambling problem in professional sports. And it's sad to say, you're about to be pulled into it and allegedly sacrificed on the altar to, it's a little too deep. Maybe I'll say that for another show. Let me finish playing this clip, then we'll kind of move on with the show.
Me personally,
He's the fucking influencer guy or whoever, podcaster guy, whoever he is that Trump put to be that Trump appointed to be the head of FBI.
He, like a lot of Trump appointees, don't really seem like they have the credentials to have the positions that they have.
That's for sure.
He does not.
And for me, that ties into somehow this happening on opening day. Or
for sure,
opening week.
I don't think that this was.
It's not
coordinated.
It's coordinated.
You didn't just find out about Chauncey and Damon Jones.
2-year investigation. Well, I said they've been investigating for a minute. They've been announced it.
Okay, cool. But Chauncey, y'all allowed Chauncey Billups. All parties involved allowed Chauncey Billups to coach opening night.
Sure.
And y'all allowed Terry Rozier, who the NBA had already investigated and cleared, to be at Game 1 in Orlando.
Mm-hmm.
So I start there. I start there. I'm not saying that these brothers are not guilty of what they're accused of. I don't know. But doing that opening week,
and these people are federally, this is a federal case, right?
Yeah. So, this is the FBI probe.
Yeah.
And this gets complicated because I don't doubt that they've done some of the things they're alleged to do. The question is whether those things are illegal or not. So, for example, if I, as an NBA coach, say to my friend, "Yo, I'm resting Dame Lillard today. Don't tell nobody," and then they tell somebody, and it gets to the gambler, or I tell the gambler, but I'm not telling them for any monetary purpose. It might violate the league rule, but that's not illegal.
Bigger than that, you'll know like an hour before.
Okay, I want to pause it here because I talked about this a little bit earlier. I disagree with Mark on that because it comes across as insider trading, and that's how they're going to paint the picture. When you have, like I said, when you have information that could affect "quote unquote" the betting and prop betting market and all of that kind of stuff, when you have information, you know, passing along and not for nefarious purposes. Hey, I told a friend, or somebody that I know that is involved in that kind of stuff. Like, hey man, you know, you might want to play the under. That's all I'm gonna say. You might just want to play the under, or play the over. It comes across as insider trading. So I disagree. Like, technically, it's not illegal to you know, say that kind of stuff, but it comes across as illegal when that information is used to affect markets, to affect the betting market, and all of that kind of stuff. And money, we're talking about money, you know, being exchanged, money being lost, money being gained. It comes across as insider trade. So I disagree with Mark on that one. It's going to be looked at as illegal. It's going to be looked at as illegal. They also brought up a very good point. Terry Rozier has already been, you know, investigated by the NBA. He was, I want to say over the summer, investigated by the NBA, was cleared. Chauncey's name, it just like came out of the blue. Terry Rozier's name has been on the radar. Damon Jones was a name that was recently added this week as the FBI probe. You know, information kind of came out. But Terry Rozier has been, you know, been looked at extensively. It's been other NBA players over the past couple of years, especially with the rise of the prop betting, quote unquote, parlay system and all that kind of stuff. It has grown as far as the scope of what, you know, teams and the league is looking at. But I'm gonna let them finish this clip and we'll kind of wrap it up and move along. Of course, we want to get to the NFL news of the day.
For game time, the Dame ain't gonna play.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? Like, so it's just
no, but
in that example you gave, it's a time thing.
Yes.
Because if I know 5 hours before that Dame not gonna play, then I could put
which is what he's alleged to have done.
I could put some shit in
He's
motion.
alleged to have done it because the league has tightened its reporting because of gambling, because of legal gambling.
Sure.
They've tightened their injury reporting. You can't hold it out to the end of the day. You never were supposed to, but as a form of gamesmanship, sometimes you wouldn't let the other team know that you're resting your guy or that you're not resting your guy. But now the league is like, no, every hour or every few hours, we're checking in to make sure that you report when somebody's injured to prevent people from putting a thumb on the scale on the betting thing. Sure. So if you're secretly telling somebody something for that purpose, same thing with the poker games. You know again, the league don't really care about poker.
Dog, these cases were flagged by the gambling association.
They flagged them.
But it wasn't. It was them saying, "Hey,
there's unusual activity
This is
here.
fishy.
Yes,
we have loads of money in the final hour coming in on a nondescript
player
Miami Heat game."
Right.
Okay. I'm done with that. Where we at over here? All right. StreamYard, be nice today. StreamYard, be nice today. And like I said, some of those betting sites, you want the rest of the clip, you gotta go to the Patreon. You know, those betting sites, yes, it comes across like large amounts of money being moved in, you know, for a nondescript Miami Heat game, especially on a player who is not really making that big of an impact in the league. Terry Rozier, he's an okay player, but he don't move the needle. But you know, we'll kind of keep you posted on this. I do want to kind of come back to a piece that, you know, Stephen A said, you know, that this is going to be politics related in regards to Trump wanting to get quote unquote revenge on black players, and you know, particularly black players who have protested or been involved in protests, or you know, been very critical of him, you know, either during this current administration and his last administration. I don't know how much I believe that from Stephen A. I don't know where he's getting that kind of information. You heard Cash Patel pretty much said that's the stupidest shit he's ever heard. But the fact that you have allegedly, it's been reported that Adam Silver is going to have to speak to Congress, kind of leads some validity to that. Do I think if I was going to say Trump was going to go after any sports league, in regards to want to quote unquote get revenge or get some kind of payback, it'd probably be the NFL. It would probably be the NFL because he has a long and very contentious history with the NFL. Very long. And for those who don't know, I'm not gonna really kind of get into it. We might say that for another time if that comes up. But I think the NFL, if he was going to target a league, I don't think the NBA will be on his radar. I think the NFL will be the one he would want. It's the biggest one. It's the one he's had the most history with. And the history he's had with the NFL has not all been good. Even more recently, being very critical of their Super Bowl pick for the halftime show, this upcoming Super Bowl, Bad Bunny. It's not been a very good history between Trump and, the NFL. So, stay on the lookout for that. Stay on the lookout for that. I think, this NBA, this story kind of gains ground. We're going to see, feds kind of looking back towards the NFL a little bit more. I think all major league sports need to be on high alert. I know MLB has come out and kind of made a statement in regards to the online betting scene and protocol and what they have kind of put in place to protect players from participating in that kind of stuff. It's going to cascade across all leagues, but I'm curious to see, like I said, how this NBA thing kind of folds out. I don't know if they did it or not. If they did, I mean, it is what it is, and if they didn't, hope people show the same vigor and making sure that they their names get cleared and that kind of stuff. Okay, let's move on. Of course, NFL today, NFL Sunday. Oh man, doing pretty good on time. Want to get into the games. Maybe peek in on Packers and Steelers. It's actually, it was a snooze fest in the first half, but it's actually kind of picking up as far as like the intensity. I want to kind of get into the big games of the day, and of course, give props to those. Let me go ahead and get this out of the way, so my soul will feel better. Congratulations to the Philadelphia Eagles for winning against. Sorry, brother, your Giants. Eagles win big. I think this is. I'm not going to put too much emphasis on this individual game. It is some major takeaways that come from this game. Saquon Barkley finally kind of got it going a little bit. And we've been kind of talking about him all season long. Hey, beautiful. We've been talking about him all season long, kind of struggling to kind of get that run game going for Philadelphia, which was very successful for them last year. Finally had a big game. They had a $150. Major takeaway from that, he came out of the game with a groin injury. Philadelphia did what they were supposed to do. I would say for this, you Eagles fans out there, it is some rumblings with the NFL trade deadline coming up. Some of the recent online social media posts from your superstar wide receiver AJ Brown. It is some people out there suggesting, and I think the Philadelphia Eagles have come out and said they have no interest in trading AJ Brown, but AJ Brown could be a guy that could possibly get moved, especially in this day and time. If you feel like you are one player away, we've seen that even earlier this offseason with. Don't even remind myself. My Dallas Cowboys traded Michael Parsons to the Green Bay Packers. Anybody can be moved. Do I think it is some fire there? I'm not sure. I think if you came to the Philadelphia Eagles with a deal involving maybe a first, exactly, I say at least a first, or maybe 2 second round picks for AJ Brown, I think they would definitely entertain the call. But back to the game on the field, Giants look good for a while, but you lose your rookie running back Scatterbo, who is pretty much gone for the season. Another blow to our offense. Just when Jackson Dart was starting to kind of get into a rhythm, he loses yet another valuable weapon. Scatterbo was having a very good start to his rookie year. Jackson Dart is going to have to kind of trudge along. Loses his number one receiver. He loses his number one running back. Eagles, have they righted the ship? I'm not really ready to go there and say that. Just good win against a division rival. Jalen Hurts looked well out there. Wasn't forced to throw the ball, but then again, when you have Saquon Barkley picking up 150 yards, of course, what he was doing also in the passing game, catching the ball out of the backfield. You don't have to do too much. We'll see. I think the major takeaway for Eagles fans is Barkley going to be. We need 5 more like that. So be kind of hit that if you haven't done so. Oh, thanks, beautiful. You don't be really monitoring. Stay tuned for the pulpit. I think I got a word. I think I got a message somewhere in my notes. Somewhere in my notes. But Eagles, we'll see what Saquon Barkley kind of looks like coming out of this. Is it just a temporary injury? How much will it limit him? Like, this is the first big game of the season. First big game of the season. Could this be the time where Philadelphia's offense kind of kicks into gear? We'll kind of see. AJ Brown today may not be with AJ Brown next week. We'll see. We don't gotta wait for the status on Saquon. Giants fans, listen, brother. I know you hear you listening. You catching on the replay. I listen. You guys were, it's just, it is what it is. It is what it is. Giants. I wasn't going to put them as my sleeper team, but I thought your team is much improved. But it's kind of like pack it up for this season. Jackson Dart, I think, is going to get get the rest for the rest of the year. Don't hope you don't get hurt. You already lost your one receiver. You already lost your best running back. But it's the future is bright for you Giants fans. But good luck for the rest of the season. But I think Scatterbo being out of that lineup is going to hurt. I think him being out of the lineup is going to hurt more than Malik Neighbors being out of that lineup, just for the simple fact the level of intensity that he brings to the lineup when he's in there, and the vibe of the team. I think he's more of a game changer in that sense. Not that he's a better player than Malik Neighbors, but I think Scatterbo has set the kind of tone and attitude for the team, and you're going to miss that as we continue out through the rest of the season. Okay. I said pool pit numbers drop. Cool. Also, some other games we're going to kind of get into. Of course, Cowboys lose to the Broncos. Defense has done what they've done all year. Stink it up. Everybody comes in and looks like the second coming of Joe Montana when they play the Cowboys. Defense team is currently under 500, where they're supposed to be. Or they're supposed to be. This is my team. I love my boys, but it's just going to be a long season. I've said it, week after week after week. If this team wins 8 to 9 games, I'm happy. This is not a playoff caliber team, playoff caliber offense, but defense is atrocious. Like I said, everybody comes in and looks like the second coming of Joe Montana. Bo Nix had a very good game. Defense got after. Probably the best defensive performance I've seen for the Broncos all season. This is a team I picked to win. If I'm not, be in the hunt for winning the division in the AFC West. This is a quality team. Denver is a Cowboys fan. If you listen to the sound of my voice, listen. Denver is a better team than us right now. So it's no shame to losing. It went pretty much how I expected it to go. I knew, Denver, whatever L's they had in regards to, offensive continuity, they was going to get it right against they was going to get it right against the Dallas Cowboys. Everybody gets it right against the Cowboys. If you look back at everybody's best performance, I'm talking about quarterbacks, running backs, all their best performance, it comes against a Cowboys defense. So not much to take away. Dak did turn the ball over twice today. I want to say 2 interceptions. The offense is as good as the offense is going to have days like this where they're not going to be able to carry, even with the turnovers, even with the poor play, the team is still able to put up 20 plus points. I think the offense is going to be okay. You can't keep on putting up 40 points a game. It just doesn't happen. Especially when you're not getting those extra possessions, when the defense is not getting the other team off the field. So, it is what it is. It's going to be a long season for Cowboys fans, but buckle up. Just buckle up and don't hold your head too low. Don't hold your head too low. This is still hope at the end of the tunnel. Maybe we'll get the defense right every other week. But congratulations to the Broncos, who continue to be a force out there in the AFC. They're still down on my tier 1 of teams. And my tiers have not changed in regards to the AFC. Speaking of tiers, I'm looking at the best team right now, in my opinion. Playing the best right now. Maybe not the best team, as far as personnel-wise, but playing the best football right now. Looking at the Indianapolis Colts, who take care of business, doing what good teams are supposed to do, beat up on bad teams. Blew out the Titans today, 38-14. Daniel Jones right now, as we are in week 8, about halfway through with the season. Daniel Jones, now, brother, I know this is going to hurt your soul when I say this. Daniel Jones right now is my pick for MVP. With the way that he has played coming into a new system, a new team, and not this. He has a lot of help around. Jonathan Taylor is back to being in Pro Bowl, form. But Daniel Jones has looked like if I had to pick the best player, MVP at the midway point of the season, Daniel Jones is my pick. Daniel Jones has looked fantastic. Even better than the year that he got he played well to get the big contract. Daniel Jones looks so comfortable in his life. If you have not had a chance to watch the Indianapolis Colts this year, if you have not, and listen, they're not a sexy team. It's not a sexy market. It's not a very sexy style of play. When we're talking about the Colts, it's not a lot of flair around them. But this is the best team playing right now. You can make an argument for Buffalo being in that conversation. You can make an argument for the Pats. You can make an argument for the Eagles. But my opinion, what the eye test has shown me, and this is the team still with the best record in the NFL, the Colts look like the best team playing right now. And Daniel Jones looks like the MVP. Daniel Jones has looked like the MVP so far this season, midway point. So congratulations to the Colts for picking up. And I think that I forgot whose team is that. I think that's Slew's team. But the Colts look good, and they doing what they're supposed to do. When you're playing bad teams, you're supposed to put them down and put them down early, and that's what the Colts do. Colts are about taking care of business. Colts are not a team that's going to allow salute Jones for picking himself up and moving forward. Yeah, I mean Daniel Jones. Listen, brother. He didn't play this well in New York at all. And this is even, like I said, even the year he played well with the contract. And I'm not a Daniel Jones hater. I think he's a very serviceable quarterback, but he has looked like the MVP. He's taken his game since he became starter. Out there in Indianapolis, we was wondering how long was he going to be the starter. The situation with Anthony Richardson. I think Anthony Richardson, barring an injury, you might as well start looking for other destinations, get with your agent and possible trade destinations for you. It's over for you. Daniel Jones looks so comfortable in this system. This team looks like their role. Like I said, Jonathan Taylor is back to being Pro Bowl / MVP, MVP caliber form. Jonathan Taylor is looking like, he wants his title back as being the best running back in the league, and he is looking like it. This team looks good. This Colts team look good. Another team that looked good, that is also kind of flying under the radar. The Patriots take care of business against the Browns. Now, I said this before the season started. The only reason we would be talking about the Cleveland Browns is regards to the quarterback play. I didn't think Joe Flacco was going to make it through the season. He didn't. They ended up trading him to Cincinnati. We have now seen, I want to say, what's this, game 3 from Dylan Gabriel. He looks like a guy. Yeah, we're going to get into the Patriots side of this game in a minute, but Dylan Gabriel is obviously not the answer. And I think, and I don't want to be right when I say this, but the fact that Shedeur Sanders, quote unquote, has a back injury and Zappe was moved up to quarterback 2. Unless Dylan Gabriel gets hurt and Zappe gets hurt, I have a sneaky feeling, no matter how much the fans call for Shedeur Sanders to get an opportunity. And I think that's all people want at this point. Not to say he's going to come in and set the league on fire. Get a guy a fair shot, at the job. The job is wide open. Dylan Gabriel is not the answer. You wasted a 3rd round pick. I don't think it's because of the talent around him. Granted, Cleveland is not a very talented team offensively overall. But Dylan Gabriel is not the answer at quarterback. Dylan Gabriel, you wasted a 3rd round pick on Cooper Rush. And I like Cooper Rush when he was a backup with the boys, but you wasted a 3rd round pick on a guy who has the skill set and the talent level of a Cooper Rush. Dylan Gabriel is not the answer. And let's keep it a buck. Zappe might come in and get you a spark, but he's not the answer either. And that's not even to say that Shedeur is going to be the answer at quarterback. Cleveland is just, one of those franchises that has been snake bitten at the quarterback position. You can go back as far as, the Bernie Kosar days. Like, this team has been snake bitten. Tim Couch. This is a team that has been snake bitten at the quarterback position. But Cleveland, you got a 3-game sample size of Dillon Gabriel in this offense. This offense looks handicapped. This offense, you cannot win in the NFL dinking and dunking. You cannot win it, especially when you don't have a dominant run game to go along with it. And Cleveland does not have a dominant run game. He has pieces. You have Njoku at tight end. You have Jerry Jeudy wide receiver. Very good players at their positions. But when you have a guy that really can't get them the ball and put the fear of God in an opposing defense, it's not going to happen. And I think, with Zappe moved up, all of a sudden you have Cleveland going into their bye week. Will Shedeur, quote unquote, back injury clear? Will he get an opportunity to get some first team reps? Will he ever get a chance? I don't think Shedeur gets a chance, barring injury. I think Cleveland is stuck there. They're going to stand on Dillon Gabriel for the remainder of the year, as long as he stays healthy. I don't think Cleveland gives a shit about winning. I don't think Cleveland gives a shit about putting the best product out there on the field. They don't. They don't. For you to trade Joe Flacco, you would have thought you'd have kept him for quote unquote mentor status as your 2 young quarterbacks that you drafted, kind of matured into the NFL. Thought you would have kept him. No, you shipped him out. And you are subjecting Cleveland Browns fans to Dillon Gabriel. And I think Dillon Gabriel remains the starter as long as he stays healthy. I don't think Zappe, they're going to move to Zappe. It's Kevin Stefanski in this organization. And I think the NFL, as openly colluded, that we're in no way, shape, or form, barring injury, Shedeur Sanders sees the field this year. And that's sad, but it kind of is what it is. It's the only reason we're talking about Cleveland. I spent enough time talking about Cleveland. Let's talk about the Patriots. Drake May, another good game. Patriots quietly, right up there, pushing for the division with the Buffalo Bills. Patriots listen. If you have not watched the Colts, you've not watched the Patriots, you're missing out on some very good, sound football, winning football that you can win games with in October. That'll translate to November. That'll translate to December. That will translate to January. These play winning football. Drake May, another good game for him. If he's not in your MVP, short list, you ain't been watching. But the Patriots take care of business, doing what good teams are supposed to do. You're supposed to beat up on bad teams. When a bad team comes in, or you go on the road to play them, you're supposed to put them away. Put them boys down, put them dogs down. You did what you're supposed to do. Congratulations to the Patriots, who continue to build up their cachet and put the pressure on teams. But I don't know how much pressure. We got to see what you look like when you play the Buffalo Bills, who won today, blowing out Carolina Panthers. Carolina Panthers came into the game, without Bryce Young, Andy Dalton, sitting duck back there in replacement of Bryce Young. Buffalo once again did what they were supposed to do. Cook got it going. Josh Allen, to me, has not played at the MVP caliber level that he played at last year, but it's still good enough to win football games. You beat up against a very middle of the road Carolina team, did what you were supposed to do, and blew them boys out, especially with Andy Dalton back there, subbing in for Bryce Young. You did what you were supposed to do there. A team that I have kind of been high on as part of my tiers. You guys know how my tiers kind of go. Buccaneers take care of business against the Saints. Baker Mayfield, another good performance. Buccaneers, you can make an argument, and I'm not in the mood to do it right now, but you could make an argument. You can make an argument that Tampa Bay is playing, even though despite losing to the Philadelphia Eagles, is playing the best football in the NFC right now. The most consistent football. I say that, I don't think it's definitely a gap there in regards to talent level when you're talking about them in Philadelphia. Philadelphia did pick up the win against them earlier this year, but Tampa Bay has played I'd probably say the most consistent football at the NFC. This is a team you got to watch as we kind of get into the healthy stretch of the season where, you kind of separate the real from the fake. Tampa Bay has played. It's probably the most consistent football in the NFC so far this year. Beat up a team. Spencer Rattler, who ends up getting benched. Tyler Shuck kind of is going to be getting a look going forward. New Orleans, hey, your quarterback situation is what it is. If you're a Saints fan, if you're here, I'm sorry, I have nothing good to report on your team. Your team is bad. Your personnel is bad. Your cap situation is even worse. Future don't look too bright for the Saints fans. Future don't look too bright for the Saints fans, but continue to go out there and compete, and continue to cheer on your team. But yeah, Tampa Bay picks up the win. Very important division game. A team that I was kind of surprised by their performance today. And I don't say this with hate in my heart, because I know he's probably thinking I'm taking shots. But the Falcons getting blown out by the Miami Dolphins, a team that has so much dysfunction coming in to this week's action. The team that has had so many issues coming into this week gets blown out by the Miami Dolphins. Granted, Michael Penix, who was had lower leg injury, was not playing. Kirk Cousins, first start, and God knows how long since last season, looked very pedestrian. Granted, Falcons did not have Drake London, the number one receiver, but Bijan Robinson didn't get it going. The offense looks lethargic, but the offenses look lethargic. Not to put all that on Kirk Cousins, but the offenses look lethargic all year long. Michael Penix is not taking that next step that we thought he was going to probably take, but hey, he's only had so much game time action. But to lose to a team and get blown out in the fashion that you got blown out in, to a Miami Dolphins team that is not healthy, and not just in the physical sense, but it's not a healthy culture. Mike McDaniels battling calls for his job. Tua. And the mess that has been the Miami Dolphins, to go out there and get smoked by them, this is probably the most disappointing performance of the other day. I had picked in my parlay, I had picked them to pick up the dub this Sunday. I was like, you're playing against a Dolphins team that's coming in very weak. Your defense has played okay. Granted, you didn't have Penix, but it wasn't like Penix was lighting the world up. But to go out in this fashion, very, very, very disappointing. And Dolphins fans, I don't know if you're listening, because I've been hard on your team. It's not too late. Trade deadline is coming up. Sell. And but the best advice I give you: sell. Speaking of selling, me kind of, since I saw Josephine earlier, her Bears go down to a Lamar Jackson-less Baltimore team. Losing 30-16 against the Baltimore Ravens team. Tyrod Taylor looked very good previously, but they had Tyler Huntley playing quarterback, but he fits the mold of what the Ravens like for their quarterbacks in that system. Very good performance today. Caleb Williams, very listen, we're gonna have to eventually have a conversation. Eventually have a real conversation about Caleb Williams. Is it a Chicago thing, or is it a him thing? And I think, to me, it's a little bit of both. Chicago has notoriously not been a place for young quarterbacks to grow and prosper. I.e., look at Justin Fields. Can't name the last quarterback that they drafted that looked like something. But Caleb Williams, he makes, they still have a winning record, but he makes too many mistakes for me to really kind of get behind him. I think the talent is there, of course, but he makes too many mistakes for me. And this is a game, Lamar Jackson missing yet another game. This is a game you needed to win. This is going to be this game right here against the Baltimore team without Lamar Jackson. This is going to be kind of a statement win when you look back at the course of your season, when you talk about playing good team, and Baltimore has been on the ropes this year. Still have a outside shot to kind of get back into the division race, with the division kind of fumbling around. Cincinnati loses, and we're going to get into that, it looks like. The Packers are what's that 29-19 with about 7 minutes to go up on the Steelers. Baltimore still has an opportunity to kind of get back into the division race and make some noise if they can get into the playoffs. But Chicago, you drop one. You drop one. If you want to move into that upper echelon of teams and being considered very serious contender, especially in the NFC that looks to me to be kind of open in regards to who's the top dog in the NFC. This is this could have been a statement win for you, but of course Chicago does what they do. Kind of choke at the wrong time. Like Caleb Williams, we're gonna have to have that conversation. He's been the starter since he's been there. They've drafted weapons. Had drafted Rome Odunze. He brought in DJ Moore. Brought in DeAndre Swift. He just how many more weapons do you got to get this guy? How many more weapons do you got to get this guy before he kind of starts to turn the corner? But I don't want to be premature. It says his second season, but he's got enough tape out there. I mean, we're talking about 8 weeks into season 2, 17 games last year. Like it's time for you to kind of turn the corner. Speaking of turning the corner, Speaking of turning the corner, Jets pick up their first win of the year. Congratulations to Aaron Glenn, rookie head coach out there. Very proud and happy for Justin Fields, considering that this past week he had the owner pretty much coming out and dog walking him for not being the answer at quarterback. To take that on the chin coming from the owner, knowing what's at stake. Your team has been winless all year. Justin Fields comes out with his best performance of the year. Cincinnati loses. Listen, that Jets game was wild. Listen, brother, it was wild. But see, that separates when we talk about the good teams from the okay teams. Cincinnati is an okay team. You have a situation here. You're going against a team that is winless. You're coming off a very big win yourself. This is a game you got to put those this Cincinnati, if they don't make the playoffs, they're going to be looking back on this game right here as one of the reasons why they did make the playoffs. When you're playing bad teams, you got to put them down. When you're playing bad teams, you got to put them down. Justin Fields got it going today. Cincinnati's defense is still as bad as it was last year. For you to allow this team to kind of move the ball the way they did. Granted, here's the kicker. New York didn't have the 2 top receivers in this game, so you can't even really put it in it was Justin Fields working with a full deck. Breece Hall got it going. Justin Fields was able to use his leg, made sound decisions in the pocket. These are the kind of games that I'd like to see Justin Fields kind of play, where he's able to kind of use his mobility and have proper decision making. Big win for them. Like I said, I'm happy for Aaron Glenn, who was in my opinion, according to the owner, also was not in fear of losing his job despite being winless to start the season. But I'm more and more so happy for Justin Fields, kind of turning the corner, having his best game of the year. Like I said, considering what owner Woody Johnson pretty much said, like I said, dog walking, said he was not an answer at quarterback, and we're going to have to find the answer. And just consider you pay this guy 2 years, $40 million, $30 million guaranteed. Says a lot, but I'm glad Justin Fields got the win. But Cincinnati, this is a game you're going to look back on, later on in the season, and like that's one we should have packed them boys up. We should have packed the boys up. Another team that's going to be regretting a loss today. I'm talking about the 49ers, who lose to the Texans. The Texans team, who has mostly been down this season, finally put it together against a quality team. 49ers are going to be looking at this. We got to let one go. We got to let one go. And the injuries are starting to pile up in San Francisco. This I don't know what it is about being in San Francisco, but they injuries is derailed some seasons. You already lost Fred Warner for the remainder of your best middle linebacker in football. Also had some injuries along the defensive line, pass rush. Bosa, of course. This team is, I don't know, the 49ers, this is a snake bit organization, but then you lose. Let's kind of keep it focused on today's game. You allow C.J. Stroud to kind of get it going. The offense kind of get it going. C.J. Stroud, who has not looked like the guy we saw his rookie year, didn't look like it, at all. Probably his best game to me, eyeballs has probably his best game of the year, picking up a very big win against a very quality team. Still think Colts are the cream of the crop of not only that division but the AFC right now. But I think, Houston, you need to be shooting for the wild card. Need to be shooting for the wild card. Very bad loss for the 49ers. Very bad loss by them. Listen, like I said, C.J. Stroud, best game. Mac Jones was all right. Christian McCaffrey, but this, you can't lose these kind of games. You cannot lose these kind of games, especially how nip and tuck some of these division races are. Especially when we talk about the NFC West, how well the NFC West has played this year. You can't be losing those kind of games. To kind of wrap up the rest of the week's games, I think I've gotten everybody. Okay, let's peek in on the Packers and Steelers. Score is now 32-19, 5 minutes left. Pittsburgh's got the ball. Okay, whatever. Also, what's the Monday night game? Commanders and Chiefs, big game tomorrow. Big game for the Commanders, who want to stay in the race for a possible division title against a team, Kansas City, who's trying to get back into that tier one of teams that have looked very good offensively the last couple of weeks. Very big game tomorrow night on Monday, but that's kind of it for that. Of course, guys know I like to get into one of my favorite parts of the show. We kind of get into the reality show that is, the Trump administration. I like to kind of keep up with that. But November 1st, I want to kind of touch on that. Just a second, y'all. Just a second. I want to make sure I'm playing. Before we kind of get into the food stamp, argument, in regards to benefits and that kind of stuff. I do want to kind of play this clip here. This is, my favorite reality TV show because we're all unwilling participants in it. I do want to get it together. Okay, this is a clip from a show earlier today. Excuse me, give me a little sip of water. NBC News. I want y'all to kind of listen to this. We talk about this all the time, like this regime. I can't even call it administration no more. This regime, this an ideology that is permeating throughout this regime in regards to people who are in positions of authority, making decisions. And it's one thing to be like, I'm to be blinded in your support of someone, but it's another thing to be like, I just say this outright ludicrous type shit. Let's listen to this clip real quick. Got queued up. Okay, check this out.
To another big issue, the Trump administration recently extended a $20 lifeline to Argentina that has gotten some bipartisan criticism, Mr. Secretary, including from Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene of Georgia. I'll read you a little bit of what she wrote. She says, quote, Americans are getting decimated with high cost of living and skyrocketing insurance costs. Many of them have zero savings and some are maxing out credit cards to survive. Tell me how it's America first to bail out a foreign country with 20 or even 40 billion taxpayer dollars. How is this move America first, Mr. Secretary?
Well, Kristen, it is America first because we are supporting a U.S. ally. There will be no taxpayer losses. This is a swap line. This is not a bailout. And it is from the Exchange Stabilization Fund, which Treasury, I control at Treasury. It is never registered a loss. It is not going to register a loss this time. We are supporting a U.S. ally in Latin America, and we want to set the tone in Latin America because look at what's going on in Venezuela. It is a failed narco state, and I'm a big fan of Marjorie Taylor Greene. I think she's a fantastic voice in Congress. But please let me finish. So we think it is much better to use American economic power up front to stabilize a friendly government and lead the way, because we've got many other governments. We've got many other governments in Latin America, Bolivia, Ecuador, Paraguay, who all want to follow. So I would rather extend a swap line than be shooting at the boats carrying drugs as we're having to coming out of Venezuela.
Well,
let me come back over here. This is your Treasury Secretary, people. This is your Treasury Secretary, pretty much trying to sell the American public that it is it's in America's best interest to bail out the Argentinian government. And I don't know we're gonna bail them out. We're gonna also heavily promote that you buy their Argentinian beef. In a way to you got to double down on that tap dancing like a mother. Brother, it's not even tap dancing. Here's the difference from this current administration in regards to his last administration. In his last administration, he leaned on, I would say, people who were experts in their field, people who were respected in those positions for the most part. And they gave him pushback, like, nah, you can't do that. No, you can't. That's not the right thing to do. He got a lot of pushback. He learned. He learned. I'm going to fill all key positions, and not just positions that are talking. People who are liable to be in front of a camera. I'm going to fill all positions, all of them, to people who are loyal to me and my vision alone. Common sense goes out of the window. You telling me no goes out of the window. This is the Treasury Secretary. This is the Treasury Secretary trying to explain, and we call it a swap line. They use in terms like this to kind of throw off, the general public who don't understand, the intricacies of, the Treasury Department. They're using that kind of language to kind of throw it off. The fact is, whatever you want to call it, 20 billion is going to, and now it's up to 40 billion going to Argentina. And you can get out here and tap dance, brother, but it doesn't help when you get out here and tap dance and Trump turns around and goes on the social media, pretty much telling cattle ranchers who have been affected by his tariff policies and trade policies, who are getting affected by it. It's pretty much suck it up. I'm telling you, your business is suffering, but suck it up. This is my vision. You'll see the payout one day. I mean, you even had the Treasury Secretary also later on in this interview. I wish I'd have got the clip for it. When asked about the soybean farmer crisis that is going on in this country, where the largest buyer has pretty much shut us down, which was China. Pretty much says, well, I feel their pain too. I'm a soybean farmer. Like, okay, dude, like, it's not even tap dancing at this point. It's like, how much can I play in your face? How much can I play in your face? Let me kind of take that clip down, because like, and when you think you can't, I got another clip. Check this out. This is a short one. It's when you think it can't get any crazier with this administration in regards to, what he will or won't do, or will or won't say. We kind of get it together here. Check this out. This is a short clip. I might play it a couple times.
Mr. President, if you are declaring war against these cartels and Congress is likely to approve of that process, why not just ask for a declaration of war?
Well, I don't think we're going to necessarily ask for a declaration of war. I think we're just going to kill people that are bringing drugs into our country. Okay? We're going to kill them. They're going to be like dead. Okay? Yeah.
Let that let that soak in and marinate what you just heard. Now we're going to stop the drug dealers. This is the war on drugs. This is war on crime. No, we're just gonna kill them. Brother, look the other way. Give me a sec. Looking the other way. This is not even looking the other way. Listen, they've become, MAGA Nation has become numb. I mean, here you are at a press conference, and they're just asking you, instead of the political answer being, we're working with Congress to find ways to blah 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 blah. We want to make sure that we stopping. Like they're just literally, indiscriminately out there shooting up boats and killing quote unquote people who we haven't even been confirmed to be narcos. No evidence has been presented to these folks are narcos. It's random Venezuelan boats. And not to say that it may be narcos, but nothing has been presented to any official, nothing is presented to the public that these people are transporting drugs. We just they coming from Venezuela, shoot them down. They come from Colombia, shoot them down. It looks suspicious, kill them. This is the president of the United States in a live press conference. Instead of being political with the answer, we're going to work with blah blah blah. We're going to stop. We're doing all we can to stop drugs. I'll play it again. Just let this sink in, y'all. Let it sink in.
Mr. President, if you are declaring war against these cartels and Congress is likely to approve of that process, why not just ask for a declaration of war?
Well, I don't think we're going to necessarily ask for a declaration of war. I think we're just going to kill people that are bringing drugs into our country. Okay? We're going to kill them. They're going to be like dead.
I mean, let this marinate, y'all. Let this marinate. This we're just gonna kill him dead. And he says it with a straight face. This is his honest feeling. This is his honest opinion. Why would I ask Congress for anything? I do what I want to do. I'm already thinking about you guys getting together and paying me $230 million for investigating me. I do what I want to do. Had a mini Trump guy or a black guy Trump, they're doing the skits, hitting the nail on the head when it comes to Trump. Listen, brother, I have. I have. Matter of fact, let me take this down. We we digging archives here. Just from this past week. No, that's for the other show. That's for the other show. You know what? I'll say that for the other show too. Yeah, that's the other show. Jesus. Do I want to use this one? Okay, yeah. Let me pull this up real quick. Give me just a sec, y'all. All right, can we get it together? Get it together. Check out this clip here. Brother, this is check. Are we up on the screen? Okay, we good. Check this out real quick, and we'll continue with the show.
That they have demanded to spend. We're not going to do that. They know we're not going to do that. And she said in her own words today, quote, "We know that families will suffer, but this is only one of the leverage times that we have." She said that in her own words, and it was pretty shocking today to hear them say that. They usually don't say the quiet parts out loud.
You're saying Democrats are making that argument, talking about what Catherine Clark said today. I do want you to listen. We've heard an argument similar to that one before.
Why shouldn't we be trying to force this government shutdown fight to get something out of it that's good for the American people?
How else are you going to get moderates to vote for spending cuts if they're not up against the fact that they need to pass these things to get out of a shutdown themselves?
A lot of good can come down from shutdowns.
That was the president just the other day, but Russ Vought and J.D. Vance before. Some people might look at that and say, well, how is what Democrats are doing now different than what Republicans have argued before?
It's very different. Those were different times and different circumstances. Let me explain why. This is the first time in history that any party has chosen to close the government down on a clean CR. In previous shutdown battles, you had a lot of different competing priorities, and you had the party who was engaging in the shutdown making demands and adding their partisan priorities to the CR itself. We didn't do that, Caitlin. We have a totally clean, totally nonpartisan, good faith CR. We passed it 33 days ago, and they have kept the government shut down because they refused to do it. It's the first time this has ever happened in history, and it's very audacious.
All right, because I want to use that to segue. I want to use that to segue into. Give me just a sec, y'all. Give me just a sec. Because November 1st is coming. I want to kind of take this from a lot of different angles. Give me just a sec. Okay. I want to play this news clip, and then I want to play another clip, and then I'll get into my closing verse. Okay.
In Southeast.
Okay. All right. Are we good? All right, check this out real quick. Trust me, it's going somewhere.
DC, this food bank line just for federal workers
You have to have your government ID.
stretches around the block. Many furloughed federal employees like Anthony Spite now waiting hours for help.
I have children to feed, I have a family to take care of, I have a mortgage to pay. So it's a lot of uncertainty.
The Bipartisan Policy Center reports 1.4 million civilian federal employees like Spite did not get paid today.
I never thought that I would be in this predicament where I'm in need of assistance.
Under a 2019 law, federal workers will be reimbursed at the end of the government shutdown. But that help could still be a long way away, with Congress not in session.
How does it make you feel that members of Congress are still getting a paycheck right now?
You know, if we're not getting paid, I honestly feel that their checks should be withheld as well.
And as food banks face an influx of federal workers,
it's scary.
The clock is ticking for millions more.
With the shutdown, I believe that we'll get double the amount, maybe even triple the amount that we see now.
Federal funding for food programs like SNAP and WIC in danger of running dry by the end of the month.
To last all the way for the next month, even to cover December, it won't. We will be starving.
Our NBC affiliate in Kansas City breaks down what that assistance looks like for the 41 million Americans who rely on the program.
I'm Megan Abundis grocery shopping in South Kansas City. This cart full of staples, some fresh produce, fresh fruit, some meat and bread represents what the average person on SNAP benefits or food stamps can afford for an entire week. The national average benefit for a breakdown per person per week is about $46 to $74. That's what we've spent here, $48.68 for this cart full of groceries.
How you doing, ma'am? You can choose one item.
With no end to the shutdown in sight, many now preparing for what could be a long road ahead.
What can I do about it? But just keep pushing forward. As they say, push until something happens.
The food bank that we went to today had over 200 people show up, all of them federal workers or government contractors. And the organizers who we spoke to said they're prepared to hold these types of weekly donation events as long as the government shutdown continues. Tom.
We thank you for watching. And
All right, I'm almost done, y'all. I'm almost done. Thank you for sticking out with me as I kind of fumble around with today's show. Yes, government shutdown. November 1st is coming, and a lot of people who are on SNAP and on WIC, and this has kind of been a major talking point, especially over the last couple of weeks. What are these people are going to do? You've seen the social media posts from people who are on it, people who don't care that they're on it. This November 1st deadline is very, very important. And I would say, reason why I say is this. It's one thing to have that looming, but it's another thing to actually have that play out in real time. And I've said this for a long time. They've tried, now I'm saying the government has tried their best to paint the picture of people who receive benefits, people who receive SNAP, people who receive WIC. They've always tried to put a black face on it. They've always tried to put a black face on it, welfare queens and that nature. They've put a black face on it for so long. You was able to kind of get away with doing it because it was never any real threat of those benefits, temporarily being suspended or ending. And so you was able to always perpetrate this image of mainly the black woman being, lazy, you just want to have kids and, you want the government to take care of you. You perpetrated that image in media and social media for decades. And now we are in a situation where, you know, SNAP and WIC is about to be temporarily suspended as far as, you know, not having any money, no checks going out, no nothing on your EBT cards. Now we're really about to see. Did I miss the pulpit portion? No, beautiful. I'm about to get into that in about 15 minutes. Let me kind of wrap this up here. I'm gonna get into it about 15 minutes. I'm pretty sure y'all kind of jumping around tonight. You know, I'm aware. But the government has spent years and decades perpetrating black folks, and you know, is being, you know, the primary people who are on welfare, when those who know and who are self-aware know that, hey, the majority of the people that are on SNAP, majority of people who are on WIC, these so-called welfare queens that you have tried to paint black women and black people out to be, is like we're always looking for government handouts. Now we're about to just to fuck around and find out week here. If a deal is not done and where it's looking right now, the Senate has no incentive to get a deal done. We're about to fuck around and find out when a lot of those white people, let's keep it a buck, a lot of those white people who are on those benefits see those benefits dry up. And how do your constituents, I want to see how these constituents in poor ass states that where a lot of their constituents are on these benefits. I'm looking at you, Kentucky. I'm looking at you, Mississippi. I'm looking at you, Alabama. You know, I'm looking at you, Oklahoma, where you have, you know, bought into this image of, you know, black folks is the ones on welfare and they're the ones taking advantage of the system. Now you we're in the fuck around and find out week here. Why are we in the fuck around and find out when your po ass has been getting those benefits? I'm curious. I'm curious to see. I want to see who blinks first. November 1st is for me, is we're going to find out. We're going to check the real temperature of the room in regards to who's trying to do what on as far as the Republican side and or the Democrat side. Who is willing to kind of cave in? Because listen, you were able to kind of, you know, federal workers, people who are on welfare, people who get SNAP, people who get WIC, they can't relate to federal, because in their mind, you know, the image of the federal worker is, you know, this is what you've been perpetrating throughout the media, especially with, you know, with this regime coming in. You know, this is wasteful spending. Federal workers, we don't need these jobs. They don't need those jobs. It's wasteful spending. You know, Doge, yay, trim down the government, yay. People who are on SNAP and WIC, they don't identify with federal workers. But now you find so they didn't care that they wasn't getting paid. You wasn't caring TSA workers were not getting paid. You weren't caring that air traffic controllers and people who work quote unquote essential jobs, who are still working, were not getting paid while still providing, you know, critical services to the nation. You didn't relate to them because, hey, I get my SNAP, I get my WIC. No, I'm good. I'm taken care of. You couldn't relate to their plight, so you weren't sympathetic to their situation. Now we in the fucking around to find that part of this kind of government shutdown we have going on currently. We're in the fuck around and find out part. I want to see what the outrage and the outburst is going to be in regards to this. And I would say this to black people. Listen, even if you are those that are affected by the potential loss of benefits this week, you know, don't get pulled into the circus of trying to be the face and representative for the fallout that is potentially coming. Please don't allow yourself to be, you know, posterized and put up. They love to put a black face on something. I mean, you go back to the No Kings Day from about a week or so ago. You know, they was reporting the lack of, you know, black and brown out there. You know, they love to put a face on their struggle. They love to put a black face on it. Don't let them do it. Don't let them. I feel bad for those who are actually on benefits, that actually need them. But let's keep it a bucket. There have been some people who have taken advantage of the system. And it is what it is, you know. But we're in the fuck around to find out. We're going to see who blinks first. Because, you know, for years, like I said, for years and decades, you perpetrated the black face to be in, you know, welfare. Now we're about to find out when your base, you know, I'm looking at, you know, MAGA, because a lot of people that are on those kind of benefits are in some of the poorer states, and when those states happen to be Republican-run states, it is what it is. We're about to find out, you know, are you willing to stay in no business when your people, your constituents are not able to, you know, get access to the benefit when the funding dries up, when the money goes dry. Now you're in the same boat as federal workers who have, you know, been furloughed, who are still tasked with coming to work and not getting paid. Now you're all in the same boat. It's curious. I'm waiting to see how this kind of plays out. But I think I've done enough of the politics. A lot of this other stuff I want to save for, you know, the other shit. Save for the other shit. We got to clean this up. Let me kind of clean this up. Yeah. Thank y'all for taking the time out to listen to little old me. I know you could be anywhere else in the world, but you're here with me. Well, some will get it, and they definitely not poor. Yeah. Beautiful. Like I said, this is a telling week. I'll say November 1st is the deadline. This is when those, you know, benefits allegedly kind of dry up. We're gonna see who's standing. We're gonna stand on business. I get the Democrats in regards to the Senate. I get the Democrats saying, "Hey, this is the only time we have any leverage to kind of get something done." You know, we don't want, you know, healthcare premiums to kind of go up on people, and those of you that have healthcare and pay for it, and you know, that is some real shit. But we're about to see in those Republican-led states where a lot of those constituents are, you know, receive those kind of benefits. You know, they're not going to care about Republican or Democrat. They're not going to, like, when you can't put food on the table. I don't give a support a political party means nothing. You can't put food on the table. I don't give a damn who's in. Listen, they don't care if it's a Democrat in charge or a Republican. I need my benefits. My political views ain't gonna mean nothing. That don't feed my kids. That don't feed me. Your political views don't pay your rent. We're gonna see how much it really mattered to these, you know, I would say MAGA Nation. This is if it gets to that point, we're gonna see how much your love for him, and when I say him, I say Trump. How much your love for him can you stomach? Can you truly swallow? How much your love for him? We're just gonna look over. This is a cliffhanger episode coming up in this reality TV show, November 1st. When those benefits are not available. How much your political beliefs? How much is it worth to you? How much will you be, even if you're on the Democratic side, how much are you willing to kind of accept? I mean, federal workers have already kind of taking a hit. You're talking about 1.4 million federal workers who have missed a paycheck. Now you're talking about a potential 41 million people. 1.4 compared to 41 million people who potentially losing their benefits, being temporarily suspended. Put up a shut up time. But speaking of put up a shut up time, let's kind of get into Beautiful's favorite part of the show as we kind of wrap up. Hold on, let me get myself prepared for this because I want to make sure where my notes at. I want to make sure my notes are on point. Yeah, I think I got a good message tonight, Beautiful. I think I got a good message tonight. Where's my? Let's get into it. What's going on, man? It's been a minute, man. It's been a minute. I figured you come back around basketball season start. We gotta chop it up, man. Matter of fact, we'll kind of, we might do that next time. I'll put a little more attention to the NBA. Welcome, man. No, this is what I'll tap into church. But I don't know if you've been around when I get to like the pulpit portion of the show where I kind of like give out some words of wisdom, some free game, just something to kind of send the people off as we round out the show. I'm curious about your thoughts on, if you ain't got to come up at all. But I'm curious about your thoughts about the NBA scandal. But let me kind of get into it. Because I think I got a bit of a message, man. It's when I see stuff, when I hear certain things, and it resonates with me, and I'd be wanting to share it. And one of the things is I have let me kind of back up a little bit. I think it's very important to have mentors in life, and a mentor of mine said something to me very recently. Hey, Divine. A mentor of mine said something to me very recently, and it stuck with me. The Lakers and Kings game was good. It just finished. Okay. Yeah, we gotta chop it up, because you and Speak only come around for basketball season. I see. But let me kind of get into this because I have several messages I kind of want to get out. But my mentor said to me, he said, "Yeah, you got to know the difference between a supportive circle and a supportive cage." And I had to think about that for a minute. Like a supportive circle, kind of self-explanatory, but a supportive cage is that's the part that kind of stuck out with me when he said that to me. And like it don't really, from my first thought, I was like, that don't really match up. Supportive cage to kind of keep you, locked in and stuck in one place. But then I had to think about it. It does make sense. Like, know the difference between a supportive circle and a supportive cage. See, a supportive circle is, the difference between the circle and the cage is like the circle wants you to grow, to want to feed and nourish you and encourage you. Now, that is a supportive circle. Like I believe, and I don't have to name names, I believe that those I included in my circle are supportive. They are supportive. Like, hey, if it's something that they don't sit right with them, they'll say so. If it's something that seems off, or hey, we could be doing this better, we could be doing this differently. It is never like, it's even when it's criticism. I know it comes from a very supportive place. It comes from a place of wanting to see me do better. But when he said a supportive cage, I had to think about it. It's people who claim to be, your support, who can claim to be your support system, who don't want to see you do more than what you already doing. And that is a person that wants to keep you caged in, wants to keep you locked in, wants to keep you stagnant in life. That is someone that when you come to them with ideas, when you come to them with your thoughts about how you want to change, no, that I don't think you should do that. I don't think that'll work, man. I think what you got going on now is working. I think maybe do a little bit more of I like to call it the bullshit. They want to keep you stagnant, keep you caged in. I need you here in this particular place. And I'm giving it to you. I'm trying to sound supportive. That's the appearance of it. But no, that is the difference between a supportive circle and a supportive cage. Some people are stuck in a supportive cage and don't even realize and thinking these people support me. These people like me. They're showing up to whatever I got going on, and they want to see me remain in this position because what they're telling me. But you got to understand the difference between the supportive circle and a supportive cage. Some people want to keep you caged in and stuck in a place that is not progressive, stuck in a place that is not fruitful, stuck in a place that is not healthy for you short term or long term. I will say this about about my circle. I know, somebody probably be, recording. Like I said, my circle is, I believe I have a circle. And I won't get into I see where you're going and what you're saying. I see it online, especially listen. I mean, this space is a perfect example. It's people. Like I said, I included my circle. I'm not gonna, get up here and name names and who that is and who that is not. Because they don't have to be they don't seek public acknowledgement for it. But if you can't, a person that is part of a supportive circle, I hope they take in a bit. Listen, beautiful. I don't. Listen, beautiful. Some people are incapable. Some people like being in the cage. I like the freedom to roam. I don't like the feeling of being like I'm in a zoo. I'm on display. Because I don't care how big the encampment is. I don't care how big the pool is. When you go to a zoo or you go to an aquarium, guess what? That is still a cage. That is you can call it what you want to call it. Like they let me know. You have a supporter circle, man. Supporter circle, hey, we'll try to steer you away from danger. And not to say that they'll stop you, because at the end of the day, the choice is yours. The choice is yours. Like, hey, the girl ain't right for you, dude. That ain't a healthy relationship. Now you can do better than that, bro. But at the end of the day, it's your choice. But I still support you, but I can't. Like I said, it's not just with not just with that. I mean, but then again, I got another little bit that kind of add another component to kind of add to that, like. And he got to drop some jewels on me. Like, and that's why I say it's important to have a mentor. It's important to have a mentor, because he dropped another jewel on me. He said, people be like, say you acting different ever since I disrespected you. I'm like, huh? That make sense. Like, I had to think about it. It's always food for thought, and it's always healthy. People will say, you acting different, you moving funny. Yeah, I was out of pocket with you, but you moving funny. Well, of course I'm gonna be different. Of course I'm gonna be different. Well, I'm supposed to treat you the same after the violation. I'm supposed to treat you the same after the disrespect. What sense does that make? No, I have to move different because you move different. Oh, you acting, you hear, you acting funny. You cheated. Of course I'm gonna act different. I would expect nothing less if I violated you. If I disrespected you, I would expect nothing else. Yeah, I'm gonna act different. But you know what? Hey, I don't want to go over. Beautiful. I'm not trying to go over nobody's head tonight. Oh, I'm not trying to go over nobody's head, like, cause no, you know what? And here's another one. And I know this will definitely kind of resonate with the message. Blowing out someone else's candles won't make yours brighter. Let me say that one again. Blowing out someone else's candles won't make yours brighter. Let me say it again for the slow folks that like to come in and nibble and nibble at the table. Blowing out someone else's candle won't make yours brighter. And I would say that particular quote was heavily influenced by somebody that's in my circle that I have and I say circle. I didn't say cage. That was heavily influenced. Like blowing out someone else's candle don't make yours any brighter. And I say that like me how can I say, how I used to say this to my wife? Oh, hold on, they don't like to hit up. Oh, somebody done drop down. And I used to tell her, we were dating, and she would, and I thought she'd catch it on the replay, and she was like, I know she's gonna cuss me out, but it's all right. And she would like tell me about, guys that she, dated prior to me. And I would just sit and listen. I would just sit and listen. And she said something. She's like, most guys would take the time to be throwing shots, like, how cats get, when you ain't got no self-confidence about yourself, you try to down the next man, baby, he ain't the man for you, baby. I could do blah, 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 blah. He took you to Applebee's, baby. I'm gonna take you to Ruth Chris. This is where I'm pay attention to this part. Now, and I would respond back when she would say that, she's like, you never, you just listen. You didn't really partake in kind of throwing shots at guys that I dated. And I was like, baby, I don't throw salt on niggas. They season themselves. Hold on. Did I say a word? Let me get a sip of water. Let me get a sip of water on that one. And I would tell her that. I was like, baby, I don't have to throw salt on niggas. They season themselves. I don't have to, really highlight your shortcomings. You do that yourself. I don't have to overemphasize that. I don't. And that goes back to, blowing out someone else's candle don't make yours any brighter. I never felt the need to say, what your last man didn't do, I'll do. No. Mm-mm. But then again, it's a bit of a confidence thing too. It's a bit of a confidence when your self-confidence is where it's supposed to be. You don't have to go to that route. You don't have to resort to that route. I mean, but the answer, how I always say, you have to push forward, ignore, and never look back. There's a lot of people who will lie. Listen. Mm-mm. You don't even bother. Don't even bother. And I would say this in kind of response to that comment. It was like, what do I get by proving myself right? What do I get out of that? What do I gain from that? And I know your life ain't shit. Me going back and forth with you about how your life ain't shit does nothing for me. And it was a point in time when when you get caught up in like, nah, for what? I let you listen. I come to the zoo to watch you because you in the cage. You in the cage, you don't even know it. Uh-oh, I'm gonna get in trouble with this one. Oh. I mean, let's think about it. Some of these motherfuckers don't even know they're in the zoo. Oh, Jesus. I know I'm gonna get a nice friendly email from that cage has, listen, the cage has a work. Listen, some of these cats don't even know they're in a cage. And it goes back to what my mentor said. Some of these folks, you got to know the difference between a supportive circle and a supportive cage. Some of these motherfuckers don't even know they're in the zoo. I mean, just imagine, like you. I want to say this is CB at the crazy please tab. Listen, beautiful. I mean, this imagine you ever been to a zoo and you just see the gorilla beating on the chest as a show of strength and show of dominance, like not even realizing you in a zoo, not even realizing you in a supportive cage. Yeah, they feed you. Yeah, they bring you bananas and all that. But you don't even realize you on display. Oh, someone been in the cage so long, they don't even know what it's like to be back in. You know what? Going too hard with that one, I guess. Here's listen. I love my mentors. When they drop jewels on me. when they drop jewels on me. That's a problem. Did you see the Stephen Knight and our situation? Yeah. Yeah. Come on. Here's a final quote from the mentor. Like, listen, it's good to tap in sometimes, but if you're lucky enough to have one, tap in with them. Tap in with them. And he said this to me. He's like, are people mad at what you said, or are they mad because it's true? And that is a question. Are you mad at what I said, or are you mad that it's true? Because see, a lot of times people, they're not mad at what you said. They're mad that there's some truth behind it. That's what you're not mad at what I said. Because if you have any kind of self-awareness, you understand what your situation is. You understand what your station in life is. You understand what listen. I'm well aware of what my flaws are. I'm well aware of what my flaws are, and I work every day to try to reduce the number of flaws I do have. But are you more like it's true, but beautiful? That's 95% of it is because of that. Hit dogs are hollow. Listen, they're not mad at what you said. They're mad because it's true. This is a lot of food for thought. Keep it healthy over here. I think this has been a good pulpit portion of the show. I know my executive producers don't give a damn for it, but it is what it is. And to her, whenever she decides to come off vacay, roll tide. Oh, come on, man. Listen, they don't listen. And until you get out there and touch grass and really experience life, some people willingly. Here's the thing: some people willingly walk into the virtual cage. Willingly, I want to be on display. Why? Because they're going to give me bananas. They're gonna give me bananas. They're gonna give me fruit. Listen, learn the difference between a supportive circle and a supportive cage. That might be going over a lot of people's heads. Oh, walk it. Listen. Walk in the cage with no chains. All because they know what. Listen, here's another part to it. You know, You know who to go to get your bananas. Whew, hold up now. Because you don't walk into just any cage. You don't walk into just any cage. You know what? Listen, like a well-trained animal. You know where the fruit at. You know where to go to get the. I'm over some folks' head with this one tonight. Sorry, not sorry. So I guess that's my message. For the most part, beautiful. Is learn the difference between a supportive circle and a supportive cage. Listen, some people will disguise support to keep you caged in, to keep you where they want you to be, not where you need to be. Yeah. Sitting away from you, banana provider. Listen. Whoa. Oh man, I can go. It's levels to it. It's levels to it. You become so trained and conditioned, you think them the only bananas in the forest. Well, you can go pick your own. Hold up now. You will become so conditioned to go into that cage because you think that's where that's where the banana's at. You become so conditioned to being caged, then you don't understand that, hey, you can go get your own bananas elsewhere without having to go into the cage. You can go get them off your tree yourself. You know what? Oh, Jesus. Don't even know you performing at the zoo. It's beating on your chest. Come on, in a forest full of bananas. Forest full of bananas. But hey. And I'm pretty sure. What the hell he talking about? Oh boy. Boy. But anyway. Listen, you gotta lead them people. You gotta leave them in the zoo. They happy where they at. They happy where they at. And see, that's another key component. Listen, sometimes as a patron, you understand when your visit to the aquarium and the zoo is over. Yeah, it was cool for a minute, but I've seen all the animals and I've seen all you could do. Maybe another time. You understand? Yeah, it's not a lifetime membership. Sometimes it's just a day pass. Oh, come on, man. God damn. Sometimes the admission is just a day pass. Not a lifetime membership. But anyway, let me get my ass up out of here, man. I've caused enough problems. Hope you enjoyed the show tonight. Well, for those of you that are, Tuesday spot, listen, I think about being about is better than being in the cage. Come on. Oh, come on. Come on, man. Some of you folks don't know what that's like. Brother, come on now. They don't know what it's like to be on an 18-hour flight to South. Oh shit, I'm talking too much shit. They don't know what it's like to be on an 18-hour straight flight to South Africa. Come on, man. Come on. Never been on a flight where they gotta have, they provide you with toiletries and shit like that because the flight's that long. Never been on those kind of flights, brother. Come on, man. Never been on those kind of flights. No, 12 hours from Seattle to Seoul. Yeah, they've never been on those kind of flights. They don't understand that lifestyle. This is come on. I know. But you come on. Some people, are used to being in the cage. They don't understand what it's like. They think they corner of the zoo is the world. Come on, man. Oh, I mean, listen. It is, but when you have a supportive circle versus a supportive cage, you get to experience that, get to experience that kind of stuff in life. I mean, the talk's different. You talk continental, I talk international. The talk's different. The talk's different. I just say, oh, the talk's different. Vasis Los, the talk's different. You got Google Maps, I got Google Translate. The talk's different. So, I mean, it's okay, beautiful. I mean, when you have a supportive circle, in a supportive cage, just know the difference. And see, here's the beautiful part about all of this pulpit portion of the show. It fits a lot of different people, and it may not be who you think it is. But on that note, I've caused enough trouble to talk different. All right, let me go, man. This is I got gym in the morning. Got to be healthy the right way, But anyway, like I said, Tuesday spot for those who are aware, who want to get down. Y'all reach out to me. Y'all got my email, man. Like-minded gym people are always real. Listen. The circle clean as fuck, bro. my circle clean. Listen, clean as fuck. Clean as fuck. Clean as fuck. I know I have a circle. Be like, damn, man. But yeah, for the Tuesday spot, yeah, we will be doing that. I got some fun stuff planned for the Tuesday show. For those of you that are interested, me, just hit me up. Kind of clue you in, tap you in. We like to have a little bit of fun over there. And of course, we'll be back here live each and every Sunday unless I get, life be lifing. Listen, when life be lifing, it is. But hopefully we back here. Be blessed enough to be back here. Each and every Sunday, man. You know how we do. My day off, we have a good time over there. I think I got some fun stuff. planned for that show. But anyway, get my ass up out of here because I'm about to get in trouble. Because I know me. Just because I ain't in the cage don't mean I don't know how to fight them. You know what? Get my ass off. Y'all have a good week, man. Y'all stay blessed up, man. Hope you got something out of tonight's show, man. And we'll pick it back up later. Y'all know the phrase that pays over here. Sometimes you win. Sometimes you lose. But every time you learn. And I'm out.